Thanks for joining Let It Fly Disc Golf, and in today's video we're going to talk about a protracted scapula. Stay tuned.
Let it fly into the sky, let it glow into the night, let it take flight, just slip away, it'll let you find your way.
So let's just get into it. What's so important about the PowerPocket? This is where we are able to compress, have hopefully everything in place where we want it to be, so that this way when we go to fire out to our hit point, it's nice and clean. A couple things that we don't want to happen with our PowerPocket is we don't want it to fall, which is really important. The other thing is when we get into the PowerPocket, we don't want to shrug our shoulder. Both of those kind of issues will cause a lot of power lossage, and we don't want to incorporate that into our throw. So we want to be very, very consistent when we get into the PowerPocket every time, so that this way we can make minor adjustments to our form to get that easy distance. So right now, you've probably seen it on a couple of videos, they talk about protracting your scapula. I mentioned this about maybe 3 months in one of my first videos. I think it's the video here. This changed everything. I used to think if I can be as loose as I possibly can and come into the PowerPocket, that's all I needed. Me and my brother, we had a long discussion about you're using too much arm, too much muscles. There's too much tension here where you're not allowing the disc to give you the speed that you need to get the disc out of the PowerPocket nice and cleanly. And so we had this discussion and we kept going back and forth where he was saying, well, it needs to be like a noodle arm. But someone like me, I take things very, very analytical. So if you tell me to do something, I'm gonna straight up do it. I'm not gonna put any kind of common sense in a sense, right? Because at this point, this is unknown territory to me. So when it's unknown territory, I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe I need to do what he's telling me to do. So what I ended up doing was being super floppy. And I was like, doesn't make any sense. How am I supposed to hold on to the disc, have a really loose arm, and get into a stable PowerPocket without collapsing, right? And then you hear the term drive with your elbow. Okay, well, if I'm driving with my elbow, that's a physical movement. How am I supposed to say noodled if I'm driving with the elbow, right? So there's a lot of terms that are going out there. People talking about the arm has to go faster than the shoulders and all this other stuff. And I think one important thing that people are starting to talk about, which is really awesome, protracting your scapula. There is a cool drill. A lot of people have came up with these. Loop Ghost, way back in the day. I'm pretty sure Seabass 22 has something out on this as well. He has everything on anything. You have Neil. We'll put all their social media links below. I forgot but he does a lot of stuff with tech disc, nose angles, and that kind of stuff. Really cool content. We have Trebuchet, which is really awesome. He's a part of Disc Golf Forums in Facebook, but he does a lot of videos and form reviews on that kind of stuff. Even Josh from Overthrow has mentioned this, but they all mention it in a different way. So Josh talks about creating extra space. I had a really bad tendency to just try to get close to this pocket right here. Okay, now Ricky Wysocki, other people, even Simon has a little bit of briefcase hold here, so that this way he can get the disc really close to his body. You see it on the videos, but it's hard to get that feeling. What are they feeling when they're throwing this, right? Well, all the stuff that I was talking about earlier as far as going with the arm, elbow forward, trying to knock down a door, all kinds of stuff, right? You can keep it a little bit simpler. And what that is from here. So Josh wants you to create more space. If you're not protracting your scapula, which just basically means push your elbow away from you, this creates more space. If I'm relaxed and I bring my elbow into the PowerPocket, right? We want this to be 90, we want this to be 90. It gives you space, but you hear some people go, oh, I hit my chest. Well, if you protract it, then it's a lot easier to create space here, and it's very, very hard for you to hit your chest if you're protracting this, okay? Now, you don't want to clench up here and protract it, right? We want to stay loose. Sometimes you can protract the shoulder and push down a little bit. What I feel is tension right here. If you do this and you protract this and you basically create this hollow in your chest, what ends up happening is you start to feel a lot of tension in your back. And this is not bad tension, okay? Where we don't want to feel tension is in our arm. We don't want to feel it here down. Even in the bicep, we don't want to feel like we're, muscling down. But you can feel when you protract it, I feel like the muscles in the back are trying to expand a little bit. And I think this might also deal with, some people might feel this and some people might not. It might come down to like flexibility, whatever. People that have really long reaches probably don't even think that they're doing this, and yet they probably are. They're creating enough space, but they don't think about this. So I have a checklist whenever I come down to getting ready to throw. I've learned that this is a problem for me because I will make it through 9 rounds and then start realizing I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So I go through a checklist, making sure that my walk-up is nice and smooth, okay, which is one of the important factors that I like to look at. 2, that I am nose down, my grip is good. But the other thing that I just always forget is protracting this. I like to put myself in the position that I want to be, right? Then start my walk up. Okay, I'm here. Sometimes you'll see me like trying to get loose, but then as I start to go, I will bring it here. I'm protracting this, I'm pushing it out. Now the cool thing about this is that when you do protract your shoulder and push the elbow out, this right here is probably the number one thing 100% of the time will fix your collapsing issue if you have a collapsing issue. 1, this is collapsed. Our bicep is on our chest. Okay? You might get good results, but you're putting a lot of wear and tear on your body. We want to play this game as long as we possibly can. And if you're tearing your body up to the point where you're having to get surgery here and there, it's pretty bad. So we want to be a little bit more efficient when it comes to our form. Don't push your arm out. Just try to get the arm back without turning your shoulders to see if you can collapse it, right? I can hold this disc here, collapsing. Now, protract it, right? Push the elbow away from you and hold that, like try to feel the looseness here. You're gonna feel tension up here. You might feel tension back here, okay? And that's the feeling before you even go anywhere, that's the feeling you wanna feel. 1, if you hold that protraction, right? It's really hard to dip your elbow. Now you can dip your elbow if you go away from it and don't come back to it. So you're protracting, you go here, you don't protract anymore, and then you're going here. You have to feel it all the way through the throw. But get into that protracted area, and what I want you to do is now try to collapse this part. It is like there's almost physically no way to do it. It doesn't put tension, but it's activating muscles that don't allow you to collapse like this. Okay? And what I feel is I feel my back tensioning, like stretching. So when I go here and I try to collapse, super hard. Let's move over to a pole. I'll show you what other people are showing on how you can feel this as well. So I got my pole here. Sorry for the ring. But you can use a wall, you can use a door frame, a pole, whatever. Neil talks about, go limp, put your elbow up to the wall, okay, and then turn your body in, okay. This is me just not even protracting, but we can see a collapse here in my shoulder. You can feel a little bit of tension, but yet if I'm going to my hip right here, this is all collapsed. I mean, that's even more, right? But when you protract it and you put your elbow up to the wall, and this is protracting, pushing my elbow out that way, not towards this way, but out that way, Now try to turn your body. This is like a brick wall. I'm not clenching down. All I'm doing is pushing it forward. And try to turn into that. It's like a brick. So what that means is when people start saying lead with the elbow, if you're protracting, you don't have to think about leading with the elbow. It goes with it because this is locked. Boom. You're here, protract it. This is good. This is a good feeling to get into. I'm not tensioning down. This is still loose, but I'm still protracting. So I'm putting tension in my body where it's okay to put tension. Okay. Another way you can do this is if you have a pole or you have something you can hold on to. Okay. Protract it, step forward, and then try to turn your body. Okay. You're going to feel a lot of tension. You're going to feel a lot of tension in your body because this is protracted, and as I turn my body to like I'm trying to get to the hit with my hips, this wants to rip the pole off, okay? And so there is a drill that I say, try this. When you get into this position, feel like you're still protracting your shoulders, okay? You're keeping it down, you're protracting it out. See, feel that tension, then slowly feel like, okay, I'm still protracting, and then I get to here and go out. The reason for that is this drill definitely helps you feel the tension all the way through the pull and through to the hit. If you go, I feel like I'm protracted, I go for my reach back, I'm relaxed now, and then when I come through, I'm no longer protracted. My shoulder has gone back, or you pull back, okay? If you do it slow enough, you can feel what it feels like to protract the entire time. Okay, let's get into some throws. So what I would say is definitely go out to the field, find a basket that's really short, maybe even 200. We do have a basket out here at Cobb Park in Abilene, Texas that are pretty short, but there's like a lot of stuff in the way. And so I wanted to have like a little open area so that this way we could just focus on the flight and the throw. So I'm gonna move, I would probably say, I don't care if I'm getting to the basket. I wanna see that I'm protracted the entire time and that I come to the hit, right? To the hit and get that disc out there. Okay, Nicholas Antala, Mason Ford does it amazing. Anytime you see his stuff on Facebook or Instagram, Valerie Mandahano, Valerie Ford, she does it excellent as well. Bradley Williams, which is the reason why so many people are just like, I've gotten several compliments of people going, you throw very, very smooth. And it's because of this. It's because of allowing parts of your body to be loose, whereas other parts can be kind of stiff, or not stiff, but with proper tension. Who else? Gannon Burr is probably the best person, and it's because his PowerPocket looks flawless when he comes here, and you see his shoulders just rotate into the hip. Bam. Okay, so we have a right to left wind. Like I said, I'm not trying to get there. It's only like 290. If I get there, great. I might throw a different disc, but we'll try this. I'm gonna probably put in maybe 20-30%. Walk up, power, everything. So let's see how this works out. Protracting. Part. Now, I noticed that whenever I did come through, it wasn't a clean feeling, which is one of the important parts. Listen to your body, get the feedback, and realize, what am I doing that could be better? Which comes up to my last point. Record yourself. You tell so many people, go out and try this, and the good thing is I get positive feedback in the comments, which is great, but I feel like 75% of people probably don't record themselves. fix one thing at a time. You can't fix the entire puzzle. You have to do it piece by piece. But this will get you a lot more gain. I guarantee you that. Let's do a couple more throws. Same thing. Be really smooth with it. And listen to your body as far as feedback. A little bit deep, probably at 20-25 feet. Not that big of a deal. I love throwing modes that just feel naturally in my hand, because then I don't have to think about that. Sometimes I put a disc in my hand and it's so uncomfortable that I'm not able to focus on what I'm trying to actually do. Let's see if we can get a clean one. I feel like these are okay. Probably too long. Nope. Pretty good. So the entire time that I'm coming through, I'm here protracting, and then still just trying to stay protracted. I'm not trying to guide anything. If anything, I'm thinking, get here. Boom. Boom. Okay? But the entire time I have this tension here. And like I said, I can get cleaner if I incorporate other things in my throw. So Mako 3, just gonna go straight. But I'm not trying to drive the shoulder in, but I'm trying to keep it close instead of out like this. Okay? Boom. The reason why I do that is because I feel like I'm hollow here with my back, and I feel like a little bit more tension. Now, these are at like 30% power, right? 293, pretty easy. I'll probably put a couple extra throws at the end of the video if you want to stay tuned and check that out. If you're watching this, I'm not sure if this is going to get out before December 4th, but we are doing a 1,000 subscriber giveaway. I'll link to the video where you have to go watch. I think it's like on hole 3 or hole 4 for the instructions on how to enter. Y'all do so much for me as far as watching my content. I want to give back. Check out my shorts. We're doing a 2-person giveaway. You can see that video that shows you all the discs that we're going to give away to both of those people. You're also going to get a t-shirt. We do have some exciting stuff coming out pretty soon too, so stay tuned for that. Other than that, leave in the comments if this is something that you do. I know in another video that I have where I show you how to record yourself out in the field, some products to get that are pretty cheap, and this way you can start recording your own throws and trying to get better. That's why it's so much fun when you can reach holes like this hole. Whenever I'm not protracted, and this is how I know that I'm not doing it right, is because it feels like I'm throwing harder. When I feel like I'm throwing hard just to get to 293, I know I'm doing something wrong, and that's an immediate red flag for me. I'm doing something wrong. What do I need to fix? And that's where my checklist comes in. Am I holding onto the disc? Am I pouring the tee? Am I protracting, which is really important because it's a tendency that I just have to forget about. But when I am thinking about it and moving smooth, then it starts to come together. The other cool important factor when you do feel this tension is we're no longer thinking hard like this is how I'm going to get further distance. It's all about being faster, which is the rotation. This is still loose, okay, but the rotation from our legs and the transfer weight, that's what can speed up, so that this way we put more speed into the disc. Hopefully I got through to you as far as watching it to the end. It definitely helps my content, but I think it helps you more because you get everything. I'm putting everything on the table for you, so that this way when you do go out and try this, you remember a couple key points, and who knows, you're probably like, that went 100 feet further and it felt like I wasn't even throwing. I've gone through this in my own form where I go out to the field, me and Sal are working on form, and I'm throwing so far, and I'm like, it feels effortless. That's what we want. That's where the wear and tear on your body is out of the table, and you can play this game until you're 55, 60, 70 years old. We want that for everybody. Start working on your form. Let me know if this helps. If you have any questions about the protracted scapula or whatever, pushing the elbow forward, creating space, all these terms are all the same thing, but you just got to remember to do it in your own throw. Leave it in the comments and I'll get back to you. Other than that, that's pretty much it. So keep up the good work. Get out in the field. Let it fly. Peace. Let's try it with the Maverick. Really smooth.
Go out and let it rip. Enjoy your day out in the sun.
Push.
Join us, we'll have a good time.
About 20 feet.
We always have fun. Let it fly into the sky. Let it glow into
Let's go with the Destiny.
Let it
Speed
take
14.
flight. Just slip away. It'll let you find your way. Find your
See what it
way.
does. Deep.